Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Everyday Heroes podcast. So, today is a solo episode, and I am talking to you about launching Parent Hour. Now, this isn't like anything that you have heard before. So, I want to take my time to go through this with you and to really share and for you to understand what this is. So, this is part of my free membership and Parent Hour is like nothing I have seen before in any capacity with regard to the autism community. So, what it is, let's run through it. Parent Hour is meeting up once a week online for parents, mums, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents who can come and we can talk about a specific topic. Now, this is, parents have questions, especially parents who are raising young kids. They've just received their diagnosis and they have no clue what's going on. They don't understand the meltdowns. They don't understand the kinder or the school. They don't understand how to navigate finding a therapist. They don't understand what it means to learn the autism language, all the acronyms. What does this mean? What does this mean for my child? How can I better support them? And a lot of the time, parents are pushed and shoved in and out of appointments. Generally, a lot of those times, which rightly so, those appointments are based around the child. Fantastic, we love that. But there's a huge gaping hole here where parents have questions. They never seem to have enough time to be able to ask the therapist, the doctor, the GP, the specialist, whoever it is, for those questions, because sometimes those questions either come up a week after, the day after that you've had the appointment. They come up because something has changed with their child. There's so many things that happen and they don't know who to go to. So, Parent Hour is coming together online to be able to share what's going on. Now, I don't know if you recall, if you were one of the OGs, I had a program called Coffee and Connection, and it was meeting up in person for parents to be able to do something very similar, but we weren't basing it around topics. We were just come in, I'll buy you a coffee, let's just chat. Sometimes, not all the time, but I would say a very big portion of the time, parents who are raising autistic children can feel very isolated and very lonely, especially when your child, as beautiful and wonderful as they are, they don't have a lot of their friends that their typical peers have. And so it can feel very much like you're picking up your child from school or from kinder and you're basically just going home. Most of the time it's because, they've held it together for so long that they just need to leave kinder or daycare or whatever the establishment is to be able to go home and just release all of that anger, frustration, upset, overwhelm. And so mums don't generally get the chance to be able to sit down and have a chinwag with, other parents, other mums in the playground as their child is playing because, they need to leave. And so they don't get to cultivate those relationships. And then on top of that, the experiences are going to be so different. The experience of the parent raising the neurotypical child versus the parent raising the autistic child, you know, most of the time, the similarities are probably, far and few between. So having this parent hour, it's going to be at the same day, it's going to be at the same time, and it'll just be a Zoom link that it'll just be reoccurring. Jump in, and I will be letting you know what the topics are. Like I was saying before, there are so many topics that are covered, in the autism community, in life. Generally in life, we don't always have the answers. And there were so many points in time when I was raising my beautiful angel boy when he was much younger that I thought, I just wish that I could just sit down and have a chat to someone who's a bit further along, to have a chat with someone who, what was their experience like? And even if it wasn't someone who was further along, maybe they were at the same point that I was, or maybe their child was younger than my son, just to be able to talk together, to be in a space where we could understand each other, that we could really get each other, and there was no, oh, that's so far removed from my life, I have no idea what that means. And so having a space where we can go, yep, I get it. I see it. I hear you. This all makes sense. This is exactly how I'm feeling. And so therefore we feel far less alone. So there's a real need, right? Every client that I speak to recently, that is the reoccurring theme. I'm scared. I'm lonely. I feel lost. I feel overwhelmed. I just feel like people don't understand what I'm going through. And I want to preface this by saying that the parent hour has nothing to do with coaching. Zero. Diddly squat. No coaching in parent hour. It's literally just having a chat about what it is that is going on. And sometimes I find that, and I've had a few people reach out actually with regards to the mini coaching sessions in my membership. And there's almost like a fear of wanting to step in and get the mini coaching for fear of getting it wrong, for fear of being vulnerable, for fear of not being sure how this is going to go, or worse yet, for fear that they might uncover something that they're really not ready to deal with and that they're scared. And so they just keep pushing it down, pushing those fears all the way down so that they don't have to deal with it. And I can say with so much love and so much empathy, that was me a few years ago, but it doesn't have to be you anymore. It doesn't have to be your every waking hour that you are trying so desperately to push these feelings down, because otherwise, if we let them out, we won't be able to function. And that's just not what we want. We want our parents in our community to be full, for their hearts to be full, for their souls to be full, so that they can give back to their children. Because I can tell you right now, if you don't have the capacity, not many people will. No one's going to love your child the way that you do. No one is going to work as hard and find the services and go and just do everything in their might for your child the way that you do. And although we have beautiful therapists and we have people who are in the community that will help, the passion still lies with us as parents. But if we don't assess what's going on for us, we can't navigate the way forward for our children. So this parent hour is designed to be able to bring people together. Mums, dads, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who is jumping on the call, but as long as they are feeling seen and heard, especially when it comes to the topic at hand. Okay, we can feel very alone and very small, if I'm being truthful, around what does this mean for me and what does this mean for my child, and how do I then move forward? I have people stopping me. It's so funny. I have people, if I'm out and about, whether I'm in a networking meeting, or if I'm out just in general, just doing my shopping, just having, had a chat with someone, and I tell them what they do, they instantly are like, okay, well, what do I do here? And how does this work? And I'm like, yes, come to the parent hour. This is what it's designed for. It's designed for you to meet those questions, ask those questions, and then get the really amazing results. And one thing I can tell you right now is on my journey, and I will never say that I'm an expert because I'm not, but one thing I will say is I have learned so much from other mums. I have learned so much from other parents who either have gone before me or are still learning, because you can't be everywhere doing everything. It's impossible. It literally is impossible. So having the space to be able to extend a bit of information here, there, what about, have you tried this? What about that? It gives parents a feeling of hope. It gives parents a feeling of knowing. It gives parents a feeling of understanding what is going on.
I'm done the pool.
Okay, as you can see, and it's okay. I'll come down in a second. The joys of live podcasting when you get announced that they've done a poo. So this is a perfect example of. That's why I don't want to edit these podcasts, because I would miss that, and you would miss that, and you would not see and hear this beautiful child who used those beautiful words, who just a short few years ago had no words at all. Zero. Like, I'm seriously, like, there were times where I would pray that he would say one word. And now we're having a full sentence of, Mum, I've done a poo. So it's all part and parcel of being a parent. It's all part and parcel of being able to step into being not only a parent, but a caregiver, right? A person, a captain of the ship, knowing which way to go. But we only get that information if we're talking to other parents. You won't get that you might get that information on Facebook, other Facebook groups, but realistically, how do you then connect? How do you really understand information more? This is why I love the podcast. I love the podcast because I get people to come on and really talk about their business, talk about what's going on, talk about how they're helping their autistic children. And it resonates then so much more than just seeing the title of the business and who's running it. That doesn't tell me anything. And so making sure that we give parents the information that they so desperately need is so warranted. So I want parents to feel seen and heard. This is why I created the company You Are Seen. Because for the longest of time, right, I either felt that I didn't want to be seen for the fear of shame, of blame, of overwhelm, or that literally parents would just out of sight, out of mind, sort of ignore me and just pretend that I wasn't really there. And, because they were busy talking, cultivating relationships with their peers. And it's heartbreaking when you are walking in that presence and you don't feel like you are seen. So to give you a bit more information, the Parent Hour is only accessible through the membership. So I will pop the links below. I'll also put them in the show notes so that you can have access to the membership. The membership currently, I should preface this, currently the membership is free. Okay. It is not going to be free forever. So I want to let you know that now is the time to get in. There are free resources in the membership. There is the free mini coaching in the membership. Now there's going to be the free coaching hour. I really want you to understand how important this is because I am yet to meet someone who is willing to do the things that I'm doing, who is willing to extend the level of gratitude, the level of generosity that I have extended without wanting payment. Now, what does that mean? It means that I know what it's like to live that life. I know what it feels like to look at your bank account and think, another one, I like another bill, another thing, another extra thing that has to come out of my account, and it just feels enormous. And I want you to feel that you're not alone, because for the longest of time, I definitely, most certainly felt alone. And I felt that I couldn't really share that with anyone because for me, and for me personally, there was too much shame and blame and grief and guilt. So how was I supposed to show up? How was I supposed to get that confidence to be able to go and ask the questions? How was I supposed to know how to navigate the questions to qualify a speech pathologist, how to qualify an occupational therapist? What am I looking for? How do I know that they're a good fit? How do I know that this is the right school? How do I know what questions to ask when I'm qualifying schools? There's so much extra that comes into it that we literally we take it for granted, or we assume that as a parent that you understand what questions to ask. We often say that parents are the most qualified to advocate for their child, but not if they don't know which questions to ask. They know their child, great, they know them inside and out, but how do you then translate that into, where do I go with this? How do I then put this together for it to make sense so that I can get the right information and so that I can make them fit and make them match up? The idea of it doing it weekly is that it becomes a ritual, and it's something to look forward to. It's something where you know that there's a space being held just for you, just for you. and that it's something that you can do with a cup of coffee, a wine, a chocolate, a whatever, that you can rock up and be like, this happened and it was really hard. And I just feel like I needed to talk to someone or cry about it or feel like I'm in it, and that we've got other people who can help us. This journey, you can do it on your own, but you will struggle. You will struggle, and it is hard and it is relentless. But doing it in a community, it feels so much less alone. You feel like you've got the backing of so many women, and so many women who will pick you up when you feel like you are so far down the track, where you feel like you can't get out of bed, where you feel like, I just don't have enough energy to do this. And I don't even know if I'm qualified to do this. And for that, I say you are qualified. You are qualified because you have to be qualified. You're qualified because you have this child who deserves you, who needs you to step up, who wants you to be the person that you are meant to be. But we can't do that when we're living all the way up here all the time. You just can't. You will send yourself mad. You will send yourself into a place of oblivion, and the self-hatred, the self, the guilt, the overwhelm, the shoulda, coulda, woulda, it will eat you inside faster than you know. And your child is picking up on that. Just know that whenever we are thinking a thought, especially a negative thought, and we're ruminating about that, your child is watching you. You think they're not watching you. Oh, they're watching you. They're watching you, and they're paying attention to your cues because they know you inside and out. And they've been watching you since they were born because you're their sense of safety. You're their person who makes everything feel good and feel right in this world. And so if you're not okay, it's like having a captain of the ship go, I don't really know what I'm doing with this ship. I don't know how to steer it. So, I'm just going to sit back and have a coffee. You'd probably be pretty distressed, right? Well, how do we know where we're going? Where are we going? What are we doing? You are the navigation for our beautiful child. You are the navigation that is going to steer the ship into the direction that you need it to go. But you can't do it if you are, if you are holding on to so much grief and guilt. I could go on about so many of those emotions that come up that really kick us in the guts. It might have been something that someone said. It was a comment from last Christmas. It was the comparison between this birthday and last birthday and the progress or the lack of progress that has been made. This feeling that we're always behind, that we need to catch up. So much of this is so hard on parents that no one gives you a manual and says, hey, this is what it's going to look like and this is what it's going to feel like. And that's normal. It's normal to have these feelings. Are they easy? They are far from easy. They suck at times. And sometimes you just want to get them and give them a big strangle. But sometimes you sit with them and go, okay, I can see where this is coming from. I understand it. I see you. I hear you. I recognize what's going on, and we've got to move through it. We say it like I say it like you should know what that means to move through it. No. Moving through emotions isn't something that you typically learn on your own. You can't DIY that. Maybe you could look up a whole bunch of videos and YouTube and socials and whatnot, but having someone there customizing it for you will hit so much faster than someone who's just talking to the general public. So the parent hour is something just for you, just for mums, just for dads, for parents, for grandparents, aunts, uncles, people who've got questions, who feel like they're not getting the questions where they currently are. And I'm happy for you guys to put in suggestions on what topics that you want to talk about. I've had people ask me multiple times to talk about so many different topics, which I've already created a list that we're going to be going through. You don't have to do this on your own. You don't have to fight this battle that you think is a mountain that is insurmountable. Like it's so far from your ideas of accomplishment that you think, why even bother? Why even bother trying? And I say that and I think, gosh, your child needs you to try. They are begging you to try. They are begging you every single day to try that little bit extra. You know why? Because they deserve it, but you deserve it as well. Don't feel like you need to have it all figured out. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? It doesn't, you're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to be in a space where you're learning one step at a time. And if we can get you in the present, not in the future, not in the past, right now, right in the present, that's where I want you. Let's learn for today. I don't need you to learn how Johnny is going to interview, and having interview questions when he's, 25 and Johnny's currently 10. Not helpful. I need you to be here right now. What does Johnny need right now? What do you need right now? Oh, friend, it's a tough one. It's one that makes you think, should I even try? And again, I go back to, of course you should. You should and you need to, as hard as it is. So, friends, I will leave you with that. It's a shorty episode, so I just wanted to leave you and let you know that this is the launch of Parent Hour. Jump into the membership. Like I said, it's free. Get into it now. Ask some questions because, like I said, it's not always going to be free, but it's going to be a space where we can really answer some questions and get you in the right direction. So, on that note, I hope you have the most amazing day, the most amazing week. I hope that you are not feeling overwhelmed by Christmas, which is just around the corner. And if you are, hit me up for my Christmas gift guide. It will help you with so much with shopping. It will help you with just being able to manage what it is to buy all of these sensory gifts for your kids. So take care, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.